Hello, Gabby again here from Endress Analytics, and this week instead of doing a tutorial, I decided, since I went to the Adobe Digital Marketing Summit last week, that I would do a little review of the summit. I already blogged about this, so some of you may have read my blog already, so I'm going to try and not repeat too much of what I said in the blog, but there's going to be overlap one way or the other. But this was my 10th year, or my 10th summit that I've attended. The first one was in 2005, and I've been attending every year since. When I first attended, I was actually an employee of a customer of Omniture, because it was still Omniture Site Catalyst back in those days. And I went to the summit, and I also went to Omniture University back in those days, and I was the one in charge of doing the implementation. They didn't have Adobe Consulting at the time. We basically just had an account manager and the university class, and then we were kind of on our own to do the implementation. So things have changed a lot since back then. So I always really enjoy Summit. Over the years, it's really changed a lot. I think 2005 was the last year that they did the conference up at I think it was the Snowbird ski resort, because it was still pretty small back in those days. The next year they moved it to the Grand America Hotel, and it was there for many years. And then I think this was the third year now that it's been at the Salt Palace Convention Center. So over the years, I know some of the criticisms I've given when they ask for the surveys and the feedback have been like the sessions. There were a lot of sessions back in the early days that were very salesy, very much they were doing case studies with other customers of theirs, but some of them were with partners, and there was a lot of like push to buy the partners software and that kind of thing as well. And I remember that being a complaint of mine back in those days, was that there was too much emphasis on trying to push and sell products, and really not enough of, hey, here's some really good things for you to learn about with this product. And that's actually one of the things that they've really improved on, and I actually really appreciate the fact that they do seem to listen to all the participants that come to Summit every year, and every year they keep making improvements. Now, admittedly, this year, for those folks who have been to Summit many years, you know, over the years and things, they've been cutting back on gifts and swag and stuff like that. And they've been cutting back on the parties and things. I mean, this year they didn't do the ski party, and they moved the karaoke party at the depot from being an after party from the bash to actually being at the same time that the ski party used to be. So they're kind of cutting their budget a little bit. But the sessions themselves this year were actually very excellent. I went to one lab and a few technical sessions, and then the rest were just regular breakout sessions. And I really didn't feel the sense of sales stuff going on as much. There was one session I was a little bit disappointed in. I don't remember the exact title of it at the moment, but it really... The title and description were not what I ended up seeing in the session. The session ultimately was basically pushing this myanalyticsscore.com website that Adobe has put up. Then you can go in, you can take this assessment and assess your team's analytics savvy, and see where you have gaps where you can make improvements for your team and that kind of thing. It's a cool idea. It's completely free. So it wasn't really salesy because they're not trying to make you buy anything. But at the same time, I wish they would have alluded to the fact that that's what they were offering in the session. There was no mention of it in the session description that I recall. So I was a bit surprised by that. And that was the only session I was a bit disappointed in, because I'm like, you spend an entire 45 minutes in a session to tell me to go to a website and of course why to go to the website, and what the myanalyticsscore.com offers and that kind of thing. But it really wasn't what I was expecting. All the other sessions I went to were really, really good. I primarily focused on the dynamic tag management sessions. I went to the lab and I went to 2 technical sessions for that. And they were all excellent and really helped expand my understanding of the dynamic tag manager. I've already done one project with the tool. It was a proof of concept for a client, and I got to play with it a little bit, but not in any real depth. So taking the lab and having some hands-on was really good. And then I also went to one session where it talked about the new video heartbeat system that they're rolling out, and it was really good information. It's really good to know that what's coming with video tracking, how it works, and all that stuff. But the fact that it requires folks to upgrade from the S code to the app measurement tool for tracking, number one, and then having to renegotiate your contract because the pricing model for the new video tracking is different, and just there's a number of things in there where I would actually hesitate to recommend my clients upgrade to the new video tracking at this time. I think the app measurement tracking needs more maturity before I would recommend anyone upgrading to that. That's just me. That's my personal 2 cents on the matter. I think the current H.26.2 S code tracking is very solid. It's been in practice for a couple years now, and obviously it's not being upgraded. If you want to upgrade, you have to upgrade to app measurement. I don't think app measurement quite has the level of maturity that the S code does, and so I'm not recommending my clients upgrade to it, although if they want to, I'm not going to stand in their way. I'm not going to tell them no. I would certainly work with my clients to do the upgrade, so that's neither here nor there. But anyway, besides that, with the summit, I had a number of key takeaways and things. I mean, one of the announcements was, of course, more evolution in the entire marketing suite or marketing cloud that Adobe has. And one of those things is, one of the solution sets is now called Adobe Campaign, and it focuses on campaign tracking and that kind of thing. And then along with all of the announcements and the evolution and some of the consolidation that they're doing with the Adobe Analytics solution, and then you've got the campaign solution, the social solution, etc. One of the things that they announced is a new profile management to the Marketing Cloud, so you can actually manage your profile with a single sign-on and manage it across all of your tools. You don't have to have a separate login and a separate profile, etc. All of that. And then also managing your user profiles and that kind of thing across all of the different tools. So it's just going to make managing managing things, especially if you have more than one tool. I mean, a lot of people just have Adobe Analytics and that's it. Some people have Adobe Analytics and CQ, which is their content management system, design system kind of thing. Some people have Analytics and Social or Analytics and Test and Target, but I don't know a lot of companies that have all of it. I'm guessing it's got to be pretty expensive, because Adobe Analytics in and of itself can be pretty expensive and everything. Although I would guess that there's a discount if you end up buying, like, I want the entire Marketing Cloud. I'm sure that there's got to be some kind of a discount for that, but it's still not going to be cheap one way or the other. Let's see, what else was there? Oh, this is good for anyone who's ever used the Genesis integration for Adobe Analytics. Genesis integration is now completely free. You used to have to pay for it, but now if you have Adobe Analytics, you can use the Genesis integration completely for free now. So, yay Adobe on that one. Let's see, I've written a lot of this stuff in my blog. I'll have a link to the blog below, so if you want to read the details and things, but I just want to kind of bring up a few things. I went to the Adobe Summit Sneaks, where they kind of sneak technology that they're kind of working on and are hoping to possibly roll out in the future. Some of these things are really going to roll out. Some of them are kind of in the experimental stage still and may roll out depending on people's reaction. I'm only going to talk about one in specific. This was the most popular one at the sneaks event, because people had to tweet the sneaks that they were interested in, and this is the one that got the most tweets, is the Uber segments, and this was presented by Ben Gaines. For anyone who's ever worked with Adobe, you should know Ben Gaines by now. If you don't, do a Google search for Ben Gaines Adobe and check his blog out, because he's just amazing. He's the guy who actually started the @OmnitureCare Twitter account way back in the day, and he started providing client care kind of help and services. I mean, as much as he could for someone who's maybe not necessarily having access to client care, that kind of thing, for quick questions, that kind of stuff. He no longer runs the that, and it's now at Adobe Marketing Care, MKTG for marketing, the short version of marketing. Someone else is running that now, and they're still doing a fabulous job. I think the current guy his name is Russ. Don't ask me to say his last name, because I'm probably going to butcher it, because I know several Russes and I don't want to say the wrong last name. But Ben's presentation was Uber segments, and so they're introducing a new segment manager. So it's like 3 or 4 years ago they introduced segmentation to Adobe Analytics in the first place. Site Catalyst, for those of you who are still using the old nomenclature. And, you know, it was very much cheered that finally we're going to get segmentation in Site Catalyst, which, you know, Google Analytics has had it for a long time, but they didn't have it for the Adobe tool. But now there's going to be a new segment manager, because one of the things with segments is you've got like data warehouse segments, and then you've got the ones that you can create in Analytics, and then you can kind of have ones that you create in Discover and that kind of thing. Well, and it's not called Discover anymore. It's now called Ad Hoc Analytics. They've renamed all the tools as well. But now there's going to be a new segment manager that works across all of them. So you can manage all of your segments in one place, and it works for the Reports and Analytics, Site Catalyst, it works for the Discover Ad Hoc Analytics, and it works for Data Warehouse, all in one place. And I'm like, oh yes, that one got a huge thumbs up. Everyone's really excited about that. And there were a number of really interesting sneaks this year, so please feel free to go check out my blog and find about that. Let's see, I talked about the heartbeats. I talked about Tag Manager. Oh, I also went to Ben Gaines. He always does a kind of a tips and tricks session every year, and he always has like, he does it twice at least, because it's too popular and not everyone could get into the first session. So I went to that. If any of you are familiar with using the stats package R, which is an open source free statistics software package that can be used, it does require you to learn a little bit, and it has a little bit of coding and stuff involved. But for anyone who's familiar with R, you can now use R to take data from the Adobe Analytics API and generate charts and graphs and things that way. So for anyone who's familiar with that stats package, that was a kind of an exciting little tip right there. Oh, another great thing was that a lot of things that you used to have to go to client care for, in terms of, like, let's say you want to hide one of your report suites, or you want to quote unquote delete a report suite. They never ever delete report suites. So if you call client care and say, hey, could you delete this report suite, they're actually just hiding it, so that if for some reason 10 years from now you decide, I really want that report suite back for whatever reason, all they have to do is unhide it. So you can actually now do this yourself. You don't have to ask client care to do this. And there's a number of other things, including enabling, I think it was like marketing EVARs, and enabling list EVARs, and just there's a whole long list of things in terms of what can be enabled now. And so just go into your admin tool and take a look around, because there's a whole bunch of things that you can now do yourself that you used to have to go to client care for. So this is another great thing. Anyway, so I don't want to ramble too much with this video, but yeah, Adobe Summit again, you know, great job. I learned a lot, got a lot out of it. Obviously, I go there primarily to network. since I'm an independent consultant and everything, and I got some really good networking. And I love all of the networking opportunities that they provide. So if anyone out there is watching and you're an independent consultant and you do any kind of Adobe Analytics work, if you haven't gone to Adobe Summit, I highly recommend going. It's not cheap, but I think it's well worth the time because there's so much opportunity to network with potential clients and things. So it's a really great venue, and they provide a lot of networking opportunities throughout the summit experience. A lot of places, a lot of mixers and things like that where you can actually get together and you can talk to other people, and there's a community pavilion and things. So it's a really great thing for those of us who are independent and want to have a chance to have access to potential clients that we don't normally have access to. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you like my videos, I appreciate thumbs up. I appreciate shares and subscriptions. I really do. And I will get back to my tutorials as of next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to do an Adobe tutorial or a Google Analytics tutorial yet. Just because there's a number of things I want to do tutorials on for Adobe that I'm kind of working in the behind the scenes to kind of get some things activated, which I don't yet. I don't have my own Adobe Analytics account, so I have to rely on clients of mine who allow me to use their accounts in order to hook it up to my website so I can get data and do the tutorials. And so I'm sort of at the mercy of my clients. And I do appreciate the fact that they allow me to do that. And as soon as I get certain things set up, I will go back to doing some Adobe Analytics tutorials, which may or may not be next week. I can't promise anything. In the meantime, I will, for any weeks I can't do an Adobe tutorial, I will fill the gaps with some Google Analytics tutorials. And for anyone who's still watching, if you have any suggestions in terms of either Adobe or Google in terms of some tutorial you would like to see me do, or something for me to go into more in depth on, please leave a comment below. I certainly appreciate any feedback. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.